Hello guys, uh, welcome to the webinar. So today, uh, is my screen visible? Okay. The webinar is about the silent pivot member server to domain controller. In this webinar, we will be going through a real world Active Directory attack where the attacker moves from a simple domain joint machine or a member server to the domain controller. So we will analyze the scene logs of those attacks and try to reconstruct the full attack chain how the attacker reached the domain controller. About CWL Labs, CWL CWL Labs is a renowned UK-based edtech company specializing in cybersecurity, cyber labs. So they provide on-demand educational services and recognize the need for continuous adaptation to evolving threats and client requirements. The company has these primary divisions: CyberRange Labs, Upskilling Platform, and Infinity Platform. And CWL provides customized on site trainings for organizations and accepts bulk orders for corporate upskilling. So, for inquiries or more details, feel free to reach out to us at support@cyberwarfare.live. About the speaker, I'm Ranjita V, and I'm working as a Blue Team Security Engineer at CWL. Moving to the agenda of this webinar. So, in this webinar, we will be taking a challenge from our Infinity platform. So, we'll be going through the overview of the challenge and then the attack flow means how did the attack happen and the key concepts behind the attack, because before moving to investigation part we need to first understand how the attack happened and what are the concepts behind the attack, and then we will be going through an investigation mind map, and then we will solve the challenge in practical. Coming to the challenge overview, the silent pivot member server to domain controller. So, here mainly we detect a remote authentication followed by system execution, which is followed by credential access and then to a lateral movement to a domain admin takeover. So we will be analyzing key Windows events such as 4624, 7045, 4688, 4673 or 74 and 4672. So you will understand what these Windows events mean when we solve the challenge. And then we will trace the attacker movement from member server to domain controller. So the overall goal of this webinar is to reconstruct a full Active Directory compromised path using the seam logs. Going to the attack flow, here what happens is an attacker gains an initial access to a member server, and then he starts executing commands using system privileges. And then after he executes a command, he successfully attempts to access LSASs, where he does the credential dumping and extract the credentials from LSASs, reuse those stolen credentials, and then using those credentials he moves laterally to domain controller and gains domain administrator privileges. I will show this in a visual. So this is the attack flow. Here, there is an attacker. He remotely logins with a compromised account to a member server. So then, using the compromised account, he gets he performs some commands and he gets the system privileges, and then using that system privileges he dumps or extracts last file and then extracts the credentials of the account, and then he using pass the hash attacks he moves laterally to the domain controller where he authenticates as an admin, and then with those credentials he even elevates the privileges and then gains a full domain compromise. So we'll understand the key concepts behind the attack. Means what are the concepts or what are the main things involved in the attack. So coming to Active Directory, Active Directory is a centralized system managing user system and access. So Active Directory is a system where there are users, there are systems, and those users have users have their own level of access which they can access several servers or the systems. So, member server versus domain controller. Since this attack starts at a member server and then moves to domain controller, it's important to understand the difference between the two. So, member server is a regular domain joined machine, means it is a machine that is joined to domain controller, while domain controller is a complete thing which controls or handles authentication of the entire system or server or users anything present in the Active Directory. So, coming to system privileges, here I said that the attacker authenticates to the member server and he gets system privileges. System privileges is the highest privilege in Windows. So, one who has the system privileges has the full control over the system. Next, the LSASS. So, LSASS stands for Local Security Authority Subsystem Service. So, it is like a storage where all the credentials of the users, hashes, and also the tickets are stored. So, if an attacker or anyone who gets access to this storage, he gets the hashes of the users, passwords, and also the tickets. So let's see the investigation mind map, like how we are going to solve this challenge. First, we will confirm that a attacker has gained a remote authentication to the member server. Here, sync SRV is the member server, and then we detect service-based remote execution, and then that is system execution, and then we detect there is a suspicious process creation in the logs, and then we confirm that there is the attacker accessed the LSASS privilege, and then we detect the lateral movement from member server to the domain controller, and then we confirm that the attacker has admin access and also has domain admin privileges. So I'll go to the Infinity platform. So here, the scenario is you're a security analyst at Red Cloud Technologies, monitoring a Windows Active Directory environment. So here, the scene has generated a remote authentication to a member server, followed by a suspicious system level execution. So after a short time of period, the domain controller records authentication activity from a user. So our task is to determine whether these events are connected, and if they are connected, we should construct a full attack chain from member server to domain administrator. So we'll see that why monitoring this thing is crucial means credential theft from memory. As I told that if an attacker gains access to LSASs, he can get the password hashes and also the tickets he need to authenticate as any user. So it is a crucial thing. And the rapid lateral movement to critical system. Here, the thing is the compromised user is of the member server, but because of a lateral movement, the attacker moves to domain controller. Once he get access in domain controller, he can literally uh, control every system in the Active Directory. And then path to full domain compromise. As I said, the if the attacker gains access to a privileged account, then he can control the entire thing. So we'll start by solving the challenge. So the first step is to access the scene. So here we'll start the lab. Okay. So here we have given the same URL, a username and a password for that. So we'll log into this URL. Okay. So with using the credentials, we log in. So then we will navigate to the discover section. Here we can see these logs of the attack. So first, after gaining the access, the second step is to confirm the initial remote authentication to sync SRV. Here, first we have to determine or we have to find which account gained the access. So for that, we will filter the logs using the event provider is Microsoft Windows Security Auditing and the event ID 4624. Here, 4624 means successful logon. If there is any record of successful logon, the Windows generates the event ID 4624. And then the logon type 3. Logon type 3 means it is not an interactive logon, but it is a network authentication. Then the host name, that is the server is SyncSRV. So we'll filter this. So here we got some logs. Then since our aim is to determine the user account, we will filter the username. Here we can see that the help desk user has authenticated to the server, so we can confirm that this help desk user is a compromised user. So by further analyzing the logs, we can get some information like the host name is SyncSRV, and here we can see that an account was successfully logged on, and we can also see the related IP. This IP will be of the attacker because it is a compromised account. So the attacker used the credentials to log in from his own machine. So this will be the attacker IP. And here we can see that username, the user ID. Yeah. So here we can confirm that the help desk user is a compromised user. So after that, next step is to detect service based remote execution. That is, we have to confirm that he gained system access. So the next step is to determine whether the attacker executed commands remotely. So to execute commands remotely, one of the common technique is installing a temporary Windows service to run commands with system privileges. So what we'll do is we will filter the logs for any new services installed to see if any new service is installed. So here event ID 7045 means new service installation. So we'll filter this. Okay, so here we see that it is the log comes from service control manager, and then here we can see a service was installed in the system and the service name is vmjv. It seems suspicious because no other default services have this suspicious names. Okay, so here we can confirm that a service has been installed in the system. So next, we will detect the suspicious process creation. So we now know that the service has been installed. So then we'll identify what was executed after the service installation. So here we will filter the 4688 logs, which means the new process has been created in the system. So we'll filter this. Okay, so we are getting the log. This means a process has been running in a system. So now to know the process name, we will filter the process.executable. Here we see many processes, but this process seems suspicious because of its name, we can say. So we know that this is a suspicious process. And also by filtering the parent out executable, here we can see that services.exe has been run. So we know that since this service.exe is responsible for starting Windows services, this indicates that the executable was triggered through Service Control Manager. So we saw that Service Control Manager in previous log. So when combined with the earlier installation event, this strongly suggests that the attacker used service-based execution to run commands on the system. This execution would provide the attacker with system level privileges, allowing interaction with sensitive security components. So now we know that the attacker has gained the system level privilege. So next, he should have accessed the file, access the LSASs to get some credentials. So next, we filter the 4673 or 4674 log, which means any the privilege usage logs means he has gained the system level privilege. So we will see with that privilege what the attacker has done. So we'll filter this. Okay, so here we are getting two logs. If we search for same uh, process executables, here we see two executables. One is lsass.exe, which is a credential dump file, and this is second one is services.exe, which I already told that this appears when any service is starting on the Windows. So with this lsass.exe, we confirm that the attacker has gained access to this and he has extracted some credentials. So since it also stores the credentials of a domain admin, we think that since the domain admin is the highest privileged account, the attacker uh, gained that access by extracting those credentials. So then we will find the credential access. We'll find the lateral movement to the domain controller. So we filter these logs. Again, 4624 is a successful logon, and DC01 is a domain controller machine. Okay. So here we are getting logs. This means the attacker has gained DC access. Now, by looking at the username, we will get on what account credential he has compromised. So here we can see these accounts, and we can also see the administrator means he has gained access with the domain administrator account. So further analyzing the logs, you can see an account was successfully logged on. Here also you can see the related IP, the same IP of the attacker machine. So with this we can confirm that he has got the credentials of the administrator. So like after getting those credentials, we will verify whether this session has granted high level privileges. So we will filter out the event ID 4672. That means special privileges assigned to the session. Okay. So here we see that a special privilege assigned to the new logon with this security ID. The security ID is of the administrator. And then we can also see the list of privileges that is assigned. Okay, it includes SC backup privilege, SC restore privilege, and several privileges assigned to the logon session. So with this, we can confirm that the attacker has successfully moved laterally from a compromised member server to full domain administrator access. So here we demonstrate a complete lateral movement and privilege escalation chain within the Active Directory environment. So we'll solve the questions. So the first question is, what is the name of the service that was installed on Sync SRV during the suspicious service execution activity? So we already know this. So if we filter the service-based execution logs, we have to identify the name of the service that was installed. So okay. So here, when we filter these logs, we know that the service name is VMGV. So we'll submit this. The flag should be enclosed with CWL. So we'll submit. Okay. So the answer is correct. So the next question is, which account created the suspicious process on Sync SRB? So to know this, we will filter the suspicious process creation activity and see which account has done it. Okay, here a new process was created. It was created by Sync SRV. So this is a machine account. Okay. Since the attacker has gained the system level privileges, it was executed through a internally. Okay. So next, which sensitive privilege was used during the suspicious operation on Sync SRV, indicating interaction with security components? So this means we know that he accessed LSAS's credentials. So during, so with what privilege he accessed that? So here, when we filter this log, here when we analyze this, a privilege service was called, and it was done through this privilege, SCTCB privilege. So we'll submit it and see. Okay, it's correct. So next question is, what is the security identifier of the administrator account that was granted special privileges on DC01? Okay, we should find the security ID of the administrator account. So by filtering the login logs, we can get the security ID here. Okay. Okay, so here the security ID is not visible. So we'll try with this privilege assignment logs. Okay, here we can see the security ID of the administrator. Okay, so it's correct. So this is the way we solve this challenge. I hope you understand this challenge. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask. So if there are no questions, then I think we can end the webinar. What would I do? Comment if I'm a beginner. Okay, so if you're a beginner, you can start with basics like any fundamental course. Here we have Blue Team fundamentals. So if you're interested in Blue Team, you can start with that. Or we also have Red Team fundamentals. So according to your interest, you can choose the domain. For digital forensics, I don't think we have. So if you need any further queries, you can reach out to at support at cyberwarfare.line. They will provide you some insights. Okay, the next one will be on next week. I think Friday we have another webinar. Next Friday. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for your time. Thank you. So we'll see you in the next webinar. Thank you, everyone.